What's up, guys? I'm Clayton, and I am definitely an alcoholic and a drug addict. Now, today's little topic that I want to talk about is kind of suicide type of thing, Right before I quit drinking, my mind was in that dark place that a person goes to right before they kill themselves. And the problem with that is I was actually strangely comfortable with it. And so that scared the crap out of me, as a matter of fact. And it's one of the things that drives me to be sober because, my sobriety and my recovery is what keeps me alive and is what keeps me from joining, this side of things. And that's definitely not a place that I want to go. I mean, not yet anyway. And don't get me wrong, I'm not scared to die. I'm really not. However, I'm not ready for that yet. I've got 2 kids that rely on me and that need me around. And so for me to clock out right now, it's not in the cards. It's not what's going to work for me, and it's not what's going to be beneficial for my kids, So alcohol and drug addiction in general, like I've always said, is a motherfucker, And I'd like to stay on this side as long as I can, because joining these people isn't where I want to be. And how I do that is I work my steps. I go to meetings. I stay in contact with my sponsor, and I stay in contact with my higher power, because people like you, people like my higher power, people that I meet at meetings, people on Sober Grid, it's a social media type of it's like a Facebook type thing for sobriety. And it's not just for recovering alcoholics, and it's not just for recovering drug addicts. It's a way for people of all sorts of addictions to get some kind of help when they need to. They can post something on there kind of similar to Facebook and get responses from people all around the United States. And I'm pretty sure it's mainly just the United States. I haven't talked to anybody outside of the U.S. at the time being, but I mean, maybe one day it'll get there. I don't know. Anyway, one of the critical steps that you have to work is step number 1. And step number 1 is very simple. I got a fucking problem. And it really is a problem. I mean, whether you want to look at it as in, okay, this is screwing up my life, because I was a functioning alcoholic, which means I got up every morning, I went to work, I paid my bills still, but it was consuming my life. The alcohol was consuming every aspect of my life, and I couldn't even hardly get out of bed without wanting it and craving it deep down in my chest, And so step number 1, if it's becoming a problem in your life, if something is becoming a problem, or if it is a problem in your life, chances are you need to get rid of it. And every day when I wake up, I work that number 1 step. I wake up in the morning and I rub a coin. I rub this coin right here. It's a 24-hour chip. And this is the only one that I really keep on me at all times. And here's why. It doesn't matter how long you've been clean, and it doesn't matter how long you've been sober. It doesn't matter how long you have not acted on your addiction, because all we really have is today. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. All we really have is 24 hours a day. And all I have to do within this 24 hours is work my program and not drink and not use, not abuse my addiction. Because that's That's all we have is today. That's why I keep this one coin. You know, so working that number one step is it's a big part. It is the most important part of staying clean, staying sober, staying away from your addiction of, you know, whatever it may be. Saying, okay, I got a fucking problem. And I can't do this on my own. And that's step number 2. You know, step number 2, I can't do this alone. I need a power greater than myself. Something that can stay sober. Something that doesn't act on the urges to get messed up, to act on the addiction. You know, and I talked about that a little bit in my last video, because my power greater than myself is my bulldozer. My bulldozer is a power way greater than me that helps me stay sober, that I can sit in the cab of that dozer and I can talk to myself all day long, and I can work a lot of my issues out. And instead of feeling like I'm a nut job, like I know I am, I use the excuse that I'm talking to my higher power. Because, and when I say I'm a nut job, let's face it, everybody that struggles with addiction, we're all insane. We all have a level of insanity that only other addicts can understand. You know, I'm the kind of person that will walk around for weeks with a rock in my shoe. And I will step on that rock 1,000 different ways, expecting a different result. Well, if I step on it with my heel, maybe it ain't going to hurt. If I step on it with my big toe versus my little toe, maybe it won't hurt. Maybe it won't be uncomfortable. Maybe if I just kick it to the back of my shoe, I can get through another day. And that's the level of, you know, rather than just taking your goddamn shoe off and dumping the rock out, we just live with it. We just deal with it. You know, and that's the type of insanity that we can relate to alcohol and drug addiction and addiction of all kinds. Is that, okay, I'm going to moderate my drinking. I'm not going to drink specific types of alcohol. I'm not going to drink hard liquor because hard liquor makes me mean. Or I'm not going to drink as much beer. I'll only buy a certain amount, you know, or I'm going to cut back. I'm going to do this a little bit differently and I'll get a different result. Or I'm going to stay sober for, 2-3 days and then try again. Or 2-3 months. You know, in recovery, I find a lot of the times that people, they'll get sober and they'll start feeling like, hell yeah, you know, I got this whooped. I can control this shit. And then we start out slow to begin with. And next thing you know, we're right back in the same bullshit that we just got out of. And it doesn't take long to get right back to the same spot that we used to be in. You know? It's amazing the level of insanity that we actually allow ourselves to believe. Me personally, I manipulate my brain, and I've noticed this, and I'm working on it. It's a problem. I have acknowledged that there is a problem, and I'm actively working on fixing this problem. The problem is I sabotage myself a lot. I set myself up to fail. And I don't realize that I do it half the time because I'm so involved in the self-sabotage. You know, and I actively believe that this is gonna benefit me somehow. And then when it blows up in my face, I'm left with an emotional disaster, emotional chaos afterwards. And that allows me to try to trick my brain into going, okay, well, you know what? Might as well go get drunk because nothing's going to work anyway. And believe it or not, that is the level of insanity that I allow myself to feel. I allow myself to do this to myself. You know, sometimes I can sit back and go, what the hell, you dumbass? Are you kidding me? You just set yourself up again. And I have done in different circumstances, I have done the same exact thing, and I have expected different results, and I was surprised when it blew up in my face. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. But that is the type of insanity that I deal with on a daily basis. But acknowledging that there is a level of insanity there is how we learn to overcome stuff like this. It allows us to help identify when we are doing this shit to ourselves and how we can curve it and maybe not manipulate the situation so that once again we're screwing ourselves over. You know, it's a hard thing to do, and I've been actively working on not sabotaging myself. But just last week I had all kinds of stuff blow up in my face. I was in relapse mode like a motherfucker. You know, on a scale from 1 to 10, I was at a 9. And my sister drugged my dumb ass to my AA meeting and forced me to get my chip and forced me to pull my head out of my ass and get out of my own head and get back to what really matters. And I tell you what, I have not missed one meeting since I was in relapse mode until I was able to get my relapse mode level back down below half. That, you know, because there's always some kind of urge inside us. So our relapse mode level never really gets down to 0. But at the moment, mine would be at a 0.5, you know, at a 0.5%, at a 0.5 point, because I feel great about the way things have worked out. And with me, it always takes a kind of kick to the back of the head to get me moving, because I like to procrastinate and I like to put things off. I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. I'm a professional at putting shit off. I'm a professional at procrastination. And generally when it's time for me to move on and start doing other things, God usually has a funny way of kicking me right in the ass and getting me going on it. And usually it's followed, you know, usually there's emotional trauma involved that puts me in a position where I'm like, God damn it, you stupid fuck. Why the fuck did you do this to yourself again? But it's the kick in the ass that I needed to get off my ass and get out here and start helping you people and start helping, because me making these videos and posting these videos, you know, sometimes I don't really want to, but I do, because if I can help you stay sober, that's exactly what I want to do, you know? And with that, I'm going to go ahead and take it for another 24. You know, I got a meeting to hit. I'm on my way to a meeting right now, you know, because once again, without my meetings, I'll be sitting right here in this same place with all these other headstones. And my headstone will read, the stupid ass couldn't follow the rules. So, I mean, the choice is yours. You can join me with the sober ones, or join these ones. And that's the harsh reality of it. It really is. I pray that you guys stay on this side of the veil. Keep coming back. It works if you work it.